What's going on, everybody? It's Stars Gaming, and we're going to do a little review on the Laetum. So the Laetum is the first Incarnate weapon you get in the Angels of Zeraman when you talk to Cavalera. And it states, during parades and victory matches, the Laetum fired pigmented airbursts around that rained into festive crowds. The Orokin sent Laetum with the Zeraman so they could properly celebrate a successful maiden voyage to Tau. But there would be no such celebration, but the void imbued the Laetum with a much more explosive capacity. Right? So that's what it looks like without coloration. It kind of clips into the hand, which is strange. It fits better in some frames' hands than Limbo, but oh well. So here's the stats. We have accuracy, which doesn't matter. Fire rate, so 2.5 bullets a second. Projectiles. Magazine of 12. Alarming, because it's like a giant party popper. 2 seconds to reload. Critical chance, status chance. Critical multiplier. It's not a bad multiplier. So you can go either way. Just like the Fenmore, you can go either way. But this build's actually going to be a little bit. It's essentially going to be the same thing as the Fenmore, but I don't have a ribbon for it, and I don't have as much Forma. And then it does impact and slash damage. You do 160 damage there, right? This part is now the Incarnon form. It actually turns into a submachine gun with a little bit of AoE. Okay, it has a little bit of splash damage. So less accurate, fires 3 times faster. It says magazine of 12, it's a lot more than 12. Still the same noise rating, still the same reload, but it's automatic. Same stats right here, your status, critical multiplier, and critical chance. But you're losing the slash and gaining radiation. Okay, and you get a 2-meter radius on that little Incarnon form. Right? So your like prime fulmination, I'm pretty sure would work pretty well. So, and then here's the nodes I use. You can't change this one. This is Incarnon Evolution 1. Weapon recoil, this thing kicks like a mule. You're gonna need it. 30% magazine reloaded per second when holstered. I use this, it only works in the non-Incarnon form, in your base form. Right? Which kind of sucks, but it leaves it so you're not having to reload manually. Elemental Excess, just like the Fenmore, same thing. And then Devouring Attrition, 50% chance to deal 2,000% damage on non-critical hits. Some people argue go with the other one that does non-crit hits or non-status hits. Non-status, non-crit hits, so you have to hit neither. Right? And that kind of sucks. I'd rather have the 50-50 chance and throw in some multi-shot, because each multi-shot counts as an instance, right? Counts as a bullet, counts as a projectile. So if I'm shooting 6 bullets, 3 of them are going to hit 2,000% damage, theoretically. Right? As long as it's non-crit hit. So, we'll go shoot some people. Right? This has no mods on it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So it takes a full mag with no ammo, or not no ammo, no mods, in order to fill up your little Incarnon bar, right? And then you press your Alt Fire. For me, it's middle mouse, and it turns into this thing. And theory. Yep, there's a little radiation proc on him. See? So it does have a little bit of an AoE, which can be nice. And you press your middle alt, your alt fire again, and there you go. As for builds, you can go either way. You don't have to follow what I do, alright? You don't. In fact, if you don't do it, I want to know what you do differently. I'm always looking for different builds, I'm interested in the way people build things differently than me. So, I don't have a secondary arcane adapter in it. It's just I never went out and bought it. I've got two Polaris. I just added two V's, right? Two Vazarins, or Moderized. And this is my main build that I would use for it. Bump the fire rate up a little bit, bump the multi-shot up, because I'm using lethal torrent, right? You have your Bane mod, Expel mod, base damage, and then your status chance. Right, so obviously in this case I'm going against Grineer, so I'm going to use Heat and Corrosive, which brings this insanely, you're going Heat, Corrosive Impact, and then over here you're going Corrosive Radiation Heat, which is kind of neat. It's really kind of cool. So you're hitting 61%, right? Of statuses. 22, well, it's actually minus 10%, so it's about 12% of the time you'll hit a critical chance. But for whatever reason, it doesn't properly show it. I don't know why. This doesn't properly show, but. And obviously, again, if you're trying to deal with Eximus like this, they got that stupid overguard. Void damage, void damage, void damage, void damage. Okay, overguard is weak to void damage. So use your Zada's Whisper, use your amp. Okay? Destroy it. Got my Incarnon for him. Remember, the build your Incarnon meter, it's not getting headshot kills. It's just landing headshots, and it's the amount of damage you do to the head. Right? So you can see there's there's 3,000. I saw 17,000. It's great for proccing status effects. It's good for, AoE as far as secondaries go. I mean, she kicks. That's me without, controlling it. I mean, she's good. I mean, I don't like her as much as the Fenmore. We'll use my wisp so that way I can show you what I mean about the fucking overguard. This is also the wisp I use for credit farming for index. Right, Fuse Reservoir, Molt Vigor, Mold Efficiency, works beautifully. Press an ability. Right, that gives me my next ability. So 89%. Overshield gone in 2 shots. Few shots over there. Shreds Overguard, right? There is no resistance. Like main Star Chart was. There's no resistance to void damage. And remember, once that Overguard is done, they are susceptible to CC again. This isn't a perfect build. It's not. But it works, you know. It does its job. It's a secondary. It's not supposed to be the main show, right? It's not supposed to be a Fenmore, which I'll show my Fenmore class again, right? Projectile speed, magazine capacity, same thing. Negative critical chance. That's my Riven, primary merciless. I was using this against my Lich, so there we go. Some people can make, the Laetum do some crazy shit. Don't get me wrong. It's not my cup of tea. I really like single target weapons. And they gave me the Fenmore, which has punched through, by the way, even without me putting Prime Shred on it. Prime Shred's just kind of an added bonus. But yeah, the Laetum altogether is a great secondary, right? But it should stay in its category as a secondary. Personally, I think it's a lot better than, we can compare it to the Lex Prime, I guess. Even though the stats don't necessarily show that it's better than the Lex Prime, I think it is. I think it is. Because it does a different job. It does a different job. It's not going to be better than the Nil Prime, But then again, it's like it's apples and oranges though, because the Laetum is an AOE weapon. Once you get there, and you're not wanting to stay inside the pistol form anyway. You're going to be in that LMG or that submachine gun mode anyway, right? You don't want to go into that single fire bullshit. So we can look at the compressor. It's better than the compressor to me. Compressor's great for priming. It's great, absolutely amazing. So is this Octi, to be completely honest. But for what the Laetum is and what it does, it's great. Okay? It's phenomenal. It's great. It's even better if you have like a prime or a secondary merciless, or if you're using primary and secondary dexterity. I think it's that. It's primary dexterity, where you get the melee kills. Yeah. Primary dexterity, secondary dexterity, great. Primary deadhead, secondary deadhead, that sort of thing, works great. It's just, Laetum's not my cup of tea, you know? Some people adore this thing and will spend so much platinum on ribbons. Meh. People that know me know that if it's got Forma on it, it's because I like it. You know? Excluding the lich weapons and the sister weapons, the tenant weapons. I don't have a lot of things with Forma on them. I don't actually count the tenant and Kuva weapons as having Forma on them because you're forced into a position with those where you have to get 5 Forma on them in order to max them out to get your max Masher rank out of them, right? So I don't count those. I mean, we can look at our pistols rank Forma count, right? Doesn't count. It technically has, in my heart, has 0 Forma on it. Because I never went past 5. I stuck it at 5 because I needed 5 in order to max it out. Haiku Prime has 2. Laetum has 2. Spyra Prime has 1. Everything else does not have a Forma on it. Because I don't think they're worth it. I'm using that as a material, I think. But they're not worth it. It's worth putting a few Forma on it. It is worth it. It's not, say, the Fenmore worth it. Or Opticore Vandal. Or Ignis Wraith. And it's certainly not the Hate or the Nakana Prime. But it's worth the effort. It's worth the farm. It's, I sound like a broken record, but it is good for what it does. It's a reliable sidearm that shouldn't be taking any sort of limelight. It's a sidearm. Next video, we're going to be going over the Praetos. God help its soul. That crappy weapon. If there's one weapon that's worse than the Laetum, it is the Praetos, hands down. It has its uses, but you'll see what I mean. It hurts so bad. So bad. But yeah, if I had any pointers, like I said in the beginning, attrition. Get rid of your status or your critical chance as much as possible. If you get a Riven with minus critical chance, fucking go for it. You want to hit those big numbers, and it's essentially having like that 50% chance to deal 2,000% damage, right? It's like essentially having like an extra Bane mod, right? That's universal. So take it. Because it's not a base damage multiplier. The multiplier for the damage happens after the bullet leaves the gun and hits the enemy, right? You're not going to see the damage spike automatically. It's like an after calculation type of deal. I don't know the exact wording to phrase it, but it's like essentially having another Bane mod. Definitely a mod for your faction you're going against, You know, bring gas if you need to bring gas, bring toxin, magnetic, whatever you need. Just make sure you mod properly, right? Especially for those that higher level stuff that kind of requires you to. Um, if you have any questions about it, let me know. I will do my best to answer. You know, and thank you. I was looking at my YouTube channel, just wondering, well, what's the stats like and all that. Like I've only got 100 and was it 138 subscribers. Um, and I've been thoroughly surprised. You know, I've been thoroughly surprised by the fact I have 138. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, 130 current subscribers plus 4 in the last 28 days. To me, that's huge. And thank you for those who have come back to my videos and decide to, whether just to click on them for 30 seconds and go, okay, yeah, whatever, or skip through. I don't care. Your view means a lot. And it gives me hope that maybe one day I'll be able to do this as a job. You know? And it sounds really kind of stupid, but it's the truth. Um, if you're interested in seeing me do this shit live, go ahead. I do have a Twitch. I'll put it in the description of this. Come on over, follow. You don't gotta sub or nothing. Fuck, you don't even have to follow if you don't want to. You can just chill out. But hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next video where we're gonna explain the Praetos. And yeah, have a good one. Peace.